その日、世界中の人間はすべて石になった。
This anime begins with an anime classic, a scene that is impossible to figure out who is the main character only by the hair. And then the classic move of confessing to the crush behind the school near the tree. But yes, what we need to know is that Senku is a genius of science. He even offers a liquid that would increase Taiju's pheromones to the point where the girl would never reject him. However, he pours on the ground and says, I have the courage. Well, a total waste of the liquid. In the next scene, Senku reveals that it was just gasoline, which, considering the current prices, might be an even greater waste. But, in the crucial moments of confessing, Taiju, upon seeing the girl of his dreams, gets really hard, like a stone. But not in the cool way though. In reality, all the people in the world turn to stone simultaneously after green light appeared in the sky. The interesting and somewhat despairing fact is that they were still conscious, trapped in stone bodies. Then, there is this crazy passage of time, but Taiju stays motivated to awaken and confess to his crush. Quite persistent, isn't he? It's been so long that he doesn't even know it has been decades, centuries, and even millenniums. Finally, his stone shell breaks, and he wakes up in a cave. Despite not having any buildings around, he remembers the river and heads towards the tree where his crush was. On the way, he sees various statues, one of which is a student who appeared on TV as the strongest in high school, Seishou Tsukasa. After finally finding Yuzuriha, he also sees written on the tree next to her to follow the river. And to his surprise, Senku is already there, awake, dressed, and with primitive tools. He reveals that 3,689 years have passed. And how does he know? Well, counting the seconds, of course. Despite Senku being incredibly intelligent, he's not the strongest guy, so he's very grateful that Taiju woke up and will be his physical strength that he needs to rebuild technology and civilization. Senku then explains his theory that with nitric acid dripping from the bat cave, he could break the stone encasing people. In theory, however, he's not succeeding because he needs alcohol to make nital, a stronger substance, to break the stone. Taiju says he found grapes and they could make alcohol through fermentation. Time passes again, and through trial and error, Senku finally finds the perfect ratio to revive humans. Obviously, the first one to be freed is Yuzuriha, but nothing is ever that easy, especially in the first episodes. When they're about to pour the liquid on the girl, lions appear, probably from the zoo, having reproduced to become common inhabitants of the new world. The situation goes from bad to worse until Taiju decides to postpone Yuzuriha's liberation to depetrify that badass guy they saw on TV as the strongest student in Japan, Tsukasa. Tsukasa wakes up, asks for a quick explanation of the situation, and Senku rapidly explains the situation in like 5 words. Tsukasa goes, alright then, and with one punch, he kills the lion leader of the group, scaring the rest away. From then on, he declares himself the fighter of the group, and the group expands to 3 survivors. Although Taiju is fine with the situation, Senku is still somewhat suspicious of the new team member. Still, Tsukasa proves himself useful and they start thriving, hunting more than ever, catching more fish than ever, and everything begins to develop better. Then, Senku announces the next thing they need to find the start of technology, calcium carbonate. And with it, he would create 4 important things. First, correcting soil acidity to increase production, mortar to coat shelters, and soap to prevent infections, because in this primitive world, it would be a game over. And that's it. But did you notice? He only mentioned 3, right? Well, he corrects himself saying, did I say 4? Oh my gosh, it was just 3, I was just kidding. While Taiju is looking away for more shells, Tsukasa reveals his true nature. He breaks the statue of an adult on the beach. essentially murdering a human he didn't even know. He reveals that his intention is to create a pure world without the intrigues, wars, and selfishness of the old world. He would selectively choose who would be depetrified or not. When he asks Senku what he thinks about this, Senku replies on the spot, "My goal is to bring back 100% of civilization without leaving anyone out." When Taiju returns from the cave with the miraculous bad water to finally free Yuzuriha, Senku says that they need a little bit more and that he'll have to go back there to get some. Tsukasa, being cunning, volunteered to go there since he's faster and with ulterior motives. He wants to know where this valuable resource is to potentially get rid of Senku if needed. But it was just a trap by Senku, and Tsukasa took the bait. As soon as he leaves towards the cave, they depetrify Yuzuriha, and then Senku reveals the plan. Run away as quickly as possible and away from Tsukasa, to be able to create weapons of the advanced civilization and be able to fight on equal terms with Tsukasa, who has superhuman strength. That is, of course, if they can manage before Tsukasa appears behind them.